No team can win without grueling hours in the pits and on the test track. There is only one way to achieve victory, and that is by painstaking and meticulous testing. The long hours of practice at the track are preceded by even longer hours of testing at the Ferrari track in Maranello. Niki Lauda talks about the track.
Well, the circuit is incredible because we got all the way around the circuit some special equipment to time the car on each part of the circuit. Top speed logic, lap time logic, but each part of the circuit I can have intermediate times. That means if I improve the car on the straight and I'm slow around the corner, it will show on a big bend which comes out of a machine where I lose and where I gain, so it's quite easy to test cars there.
Ferrari has refused to compromise where safety is concerned. He has said of his car, she is as reliable as is humanly possible.
Mechanically, I'm very happy to drive the Ferrari because I know it is a very safe and strong car. That means no wheels fall off and wings will fall off because the car is built very, very nice, a bit heavy maybe, but very good, very strong.
The final act of the 1975 World Championship was about to be played. There was little to bother the Ferrari team as they headed to the starting grid at Monza. A finish by Lauda within the first 6 places in any of the remaining races would guarantee the championship. Hundreds of thousands of Italian fans at the track felt that victory would come at home. 8 times before, the winner at Monza had become world champion. And so it was to be. The Italian-Swiss Regazzoni played his role in the happy scenario perfectly, winning the Italian Grand Prix in an Italian car. Niki Lauda gave Ferrari and Italy its 7th World Championship.
And I think that right here in 1975, we're seeing a tremendous example of what his kind of tenacity, almost ruthlessness in some people's minds, can accomplish.
Before I leave to the race, he asked me, how many points are you going to make in South Africa? Then I will say 9, commendatore. Then he will say, okay, good lad, go ahead. So when I made 9 points, he says, well done. If I make 6 points or 4 points, he asks me why I didn't make 9 points. And then I tell him, and if he understands, he will say he agrees. If he doesn't, he will say I don't agree.
Do you ever go to any track saying, I don't feel confident that I may make any?
No.
By 1976, the Ferrari-Lauda marriage seemed inviolate, each playing to the other's strength. The Commendatore was already predicting 5 world championships for the Austrian. By the German Grand Prix at the Nürburgring, a double title for team and driver seemed assured. But there are no guarantees in auto racing. An unexplained accident turned Lauda's car into an inferno and nearly cost him his life. Lauda returned an incredible 6 weeks later, but lost the championship by refusing to race in the Japanese Grand Prix. Mauro Forghieri comments on Ferrari's reaction.
Especially when he was believing that somebody was not doing the maximum to come back in the winning position. So when he realized that somebody was doing the wrong things, not because he was convinced to do the wrong, but because he was not doing the maximum, he was become very furious about that, especially in respect of the drivers and the engineers and mechanics.
The driver who had carried the Ferrari team to the sun seemed to be in the chill winds of winter as the 1977 season opened in South America. Niki Lauda appeared a pariah to the team, while attention was lavished on Carlos Reutemann, now receiving attention as the #1 driver at Ferrari. The Ferrari 312 T2 was described as transitional, which must have been bad news for those anticipating the T3. The transitional car began the season by winning the Brazilian Grand Prix. Lauda placed third, but still had to overcome Ferrari's prejudice against him with hard results. The first of those hard results was his victory at the South African Grand Prix.
This was the first race where the Ferrari was really running quick again, and I could take the lead. And I remember when I took the lead, I was very happy.
Once Lauda and Ferrari found their rhythm at South Africa, the season was effectively over. The Austrian had come back from a near-fatal accident to take the driving championship for Enzo Ferrari, a man who was no stranger to the fight for survival. Ferrari was now approaching 80, and his 8th World Championship would have provided the perfect curtain call for his retirement, which was absolutely the last thing on his mind. As expected, the 312S T3 was an evolutionary car and won 4 races in 1978. But the revolutionary ground effect cars won all the rest. Ground effect was an aerodynamic innovation that allowed negative airflow under the car to pin it to the ground, and Ferrari, as years earlier with rear engines, did not have it. Ever one to fly in the face of convention, Ferrari entered 1979 with the T4, not a ground effects machine, but not without some aspects of negative lift, achieved through harmonizing external airflows. That might sound like a voodoo headache cure, but it worked well enough to give Enzo Ferrari yet another double world championship for car and driver. The 1979 season was like the best of Ferrari years, overpowering. It saw the re-entry of Alfa Romeo in Grand Prix for the first time since 1952. The team that had sacked Enzo Ferrari didn't score a single championship point during the season. Their former employee amassed a record 113 in gathering up his 9th World Championship. At Monza, Jody Scheckter led Gilles Villeneuve across the finish line. It was exactly how they would finish in the driving championship. It was the 9th victory on home ground for the Scuderia, far more than any other team, and of particular delight to Enzo Ferrari and millions of his dedicated Italian supporters. A fitting way to end 3 decades of Grand Prix success.